The smell of his expensive sandalwood cologne, mixed with her cheap, sticky vanilla perfume. That's how I knew. It wasn't a text message or a suspicious receipt or a late-night phone call. It was the scent of their combined infidelity, clinging to the sheets of the bed I bought just 6 months ago. A chemical signature of betrayal baked into our mattress. I didn't scream. I didn't even cry. The air just became thin, sharp, and impossible to breathe. I stood there, feeling the cold marble floor beneath my bare feet, realizing that the only thing colder than my own shock was the calculating way they must have looked at each other, planning the next stolen hour. And the horror intensified when I remembered the date. They chose the afternoon we were supposed to be at St. Jude's, signing the final, devastating papers for my mother. While I was discussing palliative care and the inevitable, they were here, defiling my sanctuary. You see, the problem wasn't just the betrayal itself. Betrayal is common, predictable, almost boring in its vulgarity. The problem was the stakes. My mother, our anchor, the woman who held our dysfunctional family together by sheer force of will, is dying. Not slowly, not gracefully, but aggressively, painfully, fading away in a sterile hospital room, sustained by tubes and the desperate hope of a miracle that will never come. If I expose them, if I unleash the truth, my husband Mark's craven desire, my sister Sarah's casual cruelty, it will kill her instantly. Not physically, perhaps, but certainly emotionally. It will shatter the illusion of peace we have manufactured around her bedside, the fragile, glass-like hope we feed her every day. So, I became a silent witness. A ghost in my own house, watching the two people I trusted most in the world perform the most elaborate, grotesque pantomime of innocence. Mark walks in the door and asks about my day, his voice smooth, his eyes clear. Too clear. He touches my shoulder, a familiar gesture that now feels like a crawling infection. I smile back, a perfect, practiced curve of the lips, and ask him if he remembered to pick up the special protein shakes Mom needs. Sarah, my little sister, the sweet, vulnerable one, comes over every evening. She brings flowers to the kitchen table, the way she always has, and asks me about the doctor's latest prognosis. She touches my hand, her grip warm, comforting. The same hand that, just hours before, was tangled in my husband's hair. It's the intimacy of the lie that claws at my throat. We are a trinity of rot, bound together by cancer and lust. We eat dinner together. We watch old movies. We sit vigilantly by Mom's bedside, holding hands, pretending to be the perfect, loving family unit, while beneath the surface, the sewage of their secret threatens to overflow. The first week of knowing was defined by nausea. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My body was revolted, rejecting the very air they breathed. I spent hours in the shower, scrubbing my skin raw, trying to wash away the phantom vanilla scent that clung to me like cheap oil. I started observing them, analyzing their every move. It wasn't just physical attraction, I realized. It was deeper, sicker. It was a shared contempt for me, a secret language whispered across the dinner table. When Mark would tell a joke, Sarah would laugh a little too long, her eyes holding his for a fraction of a second too long, a tiny flicker of shared history I was never meant to see. I remembered the summer Sarah moved in with us. She had just gone through a bad breakup, and Mom was already starting to decline, needing constant supervision. It was supposed to be temporary, a sanctuary. Mark was kind to her, supportive. He helped her move boxes, fixed her old car. I encouraged it. I saw their companionship as a blessing, a relief from the overwhelming stress of caretaking. How naive. How utterly, fatally blind I was. I look at old photographs now. Sarah, standing next to Mark at our wedding, her arm linked through his, smiling widely. Was it already there, buried beneath the surface? Was this slow, insidious betrayal a seed planted years ago, waiting for the perfect moment of vulnerability to sprout? I fantasize about the confrontation. I picture myself walking into the hospital room, pulling the ventilator plug, and then turning to them, holding the bloody, exposed truth in my hand. I imagine the look on Mark's face when I detail every single thing I know, the motel they used downtown, the specific text message he sent her about my boring missionary style, the stupid, childish pet names they used. But then I look at my mother. Her skin, translucent and thin, stretched over the bone. Her breathing, shallow and rattling. She is clinging to life by a single, fraying thread. And I am holding the scissors. If I cut that thread, I achieve justice. I achieve revenge. But I also condemn her to a final, agonizing heartbreak. The choice is simple, and yet impossibly complex. My peace, or her final moments of manufactured peace. The silence of my knowledge is becoming a physical weight. It presses down on my chest, making it difficult to stand upright. I need to know the why. The truly disgusting, unforgivable why. Last night, I initiated sex with Mark for the first time since I found out. It was an experiment in endurance, a test of how much filth I could tolerate. He was oblivious. He was tender, careful, using the gestures he knew I liked. But every touch felt like a violation. I focused on the texture of the sheets, the pattern on the ceiling, anything but the man above me, the man whose body had just been intimately known by my sister. And as he climaxed, whispering my name, I didn't feel rage. I felt a cold, clinical curiosity. I wondered if he called out her name too. I wondered if she tasted different. The visceral horror of that moment gave me clarity. I realized that keeping the secret isn't protecting my mother. It's protecting them. It's allowing them to continue their vile, secret life while I wither away, consumed by the silence. I need evidence that is so irrefutable, so catastrophic, that when I finally decide to use it, the damage is absolute and total. I need something that proves this wasn't just a drunken mistake, but a calculated, ongoing destruction of my life. I started with his phone. I waited until he was in the shower, the water running loud enough to mask the click of the camera. I didn't even look at the screen as I snapped pictures of every message, every calendar entry, every secret photo. I just focused on the task, my hands steady, my breath even. When I finally reviewed the images later, tucked away in the hospital waiting room while they both slept, I found more than just texts. I found a video. A short clip, grainy and dark, but unmistakable. It wasn't just them together. It was them in my mother's favorite chair, laughing, mocking the sickly sweetness of the gifts we brought her. Sarah was talking about how she hoped Mom lasted long enough to sign the trust papers, but not so long that they missed their planned trip to Cancun. Mark just laughed, a deep, satisfied rumble, and pulled her closer. That laughter, that casual, monstrous cruelty, aimed directly at the woman who is dying, the woman I am sacrificing my sanity to protect. The line has been crossed. This is no longer about sex or betrayal. This is about malice. This is about financial gain. This is about destroying a dying woman's legacy. I deleted the video from his phone, saving the copy to a secure cloud drive. I put the phone back exactly where I found it. Now I understand my mission. It's not just revenge. It's justice for the dying. But I still haven't decided if I can sacrifice my mother's remaining days for it. The scale is balanced precariously, and the weight of that video is crushing everything. I have the proof. I have the motive. The only thing standing between them and utter ruin is the beating, fragile heart of a woman who has only days left. And I have to choose. Do I wait for her to draw her last breath, or do I use this weapon now, ensuring her final moments are filled with the horror of her family's true nature? What is the exact time limit on my silence? Rate this betrayal and the narrator's silence 1 to 10. Subscribe to Betrayal Files for more dark truths. I held the video, a digital guillotine, and felt the weight of every second ticking away. The doctors said days, maybe hours. The biological clock of my mother's life was accelerating, demanding a choice I was physically incapable of making. The truth is, if I had exposed them right then, in that sterile hospital room, it would have been messy. A flash fire of screaming and accusation. It would have ruined the very last hours of my mother's life, yes, but it would have also given Mark and Sarah the chance to deny, to deflect, to spin the narrative into something manageable. They would have said I was hysterical, that the stress of the illness had finally broken me. They would have claimed the video was doctored or taken out of context. They would have used my grief against me. No. I realized that my revenge must be clean, precise, and absolute. I am no longer the victim who scrubs away cheap vanilla perfume in the shower. I am the architect of their ruin, and architects must be patient. I decided to wait. I decided to give my mother the dignity of dying in peace, surrounded by what she believed was love. This waiting is the hardest torture, but it is also my armor. I returned to the house, putting on the performance of a grieving daughter. I cooked Mark his favorite meal. I listened to Sarah complain about her job, nodding sympathetically. Every affectionate lie I told, every shared moment of manufactured comfort, was a chip I was cashing in later. I look at them now, across the breakfast table, and I see ghosts. They're already dead to me, walking around in borrowed skin, unaware that their executioner is pouring their coffee. Last night, we were all sitting by Mom's bedside. Her breathing was labored, shallow, almost imperceptible. Sarah was holding her hand, weeping softly, resting her head on Mark's shoulder. They were rehearsing their roles for the funeral, practicing the performance of innocence they planned to deliver to the world. I watched them, and I felt nothing but a deep, cold satisfaction. They believe this charade is working. They believe I am blind, stupid, and conveniently distraught. They believe the only obstacle left standing between them and the inheritance is a ventilator. They have no idea that the real obstacle is me, and the proof I hold in my hand. I am letting them dig their own graves. I am allowing them to plan the funeral, to choose the hymns, to write the eulogies. They will stand there, dressed in black, looking suitably devastated, basking in the pity of our friends and family. They will believe the trust documents are secure. They will believe they have won. And that is when I will strike. The moment the ink is dry on the last paper, the moment the pallbearers have lowered the casket, the moment the public mourning is complete, I will release the tape. I will send it to the entire family mailing list. I will give it to the lawyer. I will ensure every single person who attends the funeral sees and hears Mark's satisfied rumble, sees Sarah's malicious laugh, and understands exactly what they were hoping for while my mother suffered. My mother will have her peaceful passing, and they will have their spectacular, deserved destruction. The silence is no longer weakness, it is my most powerful weapon. I am not protecting them. I am simply curating the precise, perfect moment of their ruin. I know I will stand alone when the dust settles. I know the fallout will be catastrophic, destroying the family structure forever. But the alternative, living a lie, protecting the monstrous cruelty of these two people, that is the true death. I will let them grieve, and then I will give them something real to cry about. Did the narrator make the right choice by waiting for her mother to die before enacting revenge? Subscribe to Betrayal Files if you can handle the next secret.